Good evening and welcome back. Tonight I will be reading letter 31 through 40. It was an interesting day today. I had a very exciting day. It was a lovely day, and I hope whatever happened in your day today that you may use it to progress and to move on, to move forward and step ahead. As challenging as it might have been, or as exciting as it might have been, I truly do wish you the best. So, on to the letter 31 through letter 40. 31 of 1000, written on June 21st, 2013. Dear friend, sometimes inspiration is the very voice we are to follow. That feeling, that thought, that impulse to do a kind deed or pick up that piece of trash with the wind that the wind brought to your foot. I'd like to encourage you to be more attentive to the voice inside. Most of the time, it will take courage and boldness on your part, while other times it will require some of your time. And in my case, for example, I decided to write 1,000 letters to people I chose at random and encourage them. Share what's on my mind. I had that moment a few weeks ago, and now it means I have to invest time into doing this. Be different. Do things like never before and be bold in your pursuits. In conclusion, I would like to challenge you to sit down this week and write a letter of encouragement to one person who has impacted your life and mail it to them. Oh, and hug the first person you see after reading this letter. Your friend, Alexei Katko. Still wide smiley face on these things? Yep. Letter 32, written on June 21st. Dear friend, if excitement is what we always strive for, then a dull life one will live. For the greatest thing one can do is understand why they are here and accomplish their lifelong mission. The common denominator between all accomplished men and women of history is that they learned how to think. Not have random thoughts or ideas, but deep thoughts of life and its reason. The path of finding yourself, is one few dare to travel. It's very lonely, for it is yours alone. However, once traveled on, the other end is much more of a blessing. Therefore, be bold, have courage, and never be scared of finding the truth. As I end this letter, I would like to challenge you. Sit down this week and write a letter to someone you love, someone who has impacted your life, and send it off to them. Live, love, and hug people as long as you live with love. Your friend, Alexei Katko. And this is the second time you will notice my quote is developing. Letter 33, written on June 21st, 2013. Dear friend, I once asked, what do you do for a living? I once was asked, what do you do for a living? I told them, I breathe, eat, and sleep in that exact order. As for what do I do to make money? Well, I still haven't settled on that one thing yet. Still trying new things. Very often, we start comparing ourselves to other people, and as we do that, we lose sight of who we are and what we stand for. Most people who come to Earth will live here according to standards set for them. Every one of us, me, you, we all have but one life to live on Earth. I would like to encourage you to dream, dare to be bold, have courage, and follow that still small voice. A few weeks ago, I decided to act on that little voice inside, and here I am writing letters of encouragement to 1,000 complete strangers in the next year. In conclusion, I would like to challenge you to sit down this week and write a letter to someone who has impacted your life, and send it off to them through snail mail. Smiley face. All things are possible to those who believe. Your friend, Alexei Katko. Today is a cloudy day, but the sun is peeking right through the clouds. Let me show you. Yeah, you see that? Bam. It was cloudy all day, and here it is for the letter reading. Letter 34, no date. Dear friend, let me, like a quilt, every one of us plays a small role. part of a big picture and a grand design. One kind deed now forever impacts others centuries later. For example, in the story Schindler's List, one man acts on his convictions, and today 9,000 people owe their lives to his actions. That same year, that same power is in you to do great things in your circle of influence. Your actions, no matter how small, will impact history in one way or another. My great-grandfather decided to run or escape from a Nazi prison camp and swim a nearly frozen river. Decades later, here I am writing you a letter. Instead of later, I accidentally wrote letter. So decades later, here I am writing you a letter. This letter might be small and unique in content. No matter how seemingly insignificant, I know history itself will never be this. This letter might be small and unique in content. No matter how seemingly insignificant, I know history itself will never be the same. A week ago, I decided to follow that still small voice inside, and so I committed to write 1,000 letters of encouragement and send it to quote-unquote random people in the USA. You are the 34th letter. I pray that you will have the courage and boldness to set up and be one of courage. To wrap up this letter to you, I'd like to challenge you to sit down this week and write a letter to someone you love, a person who has impacted your life, and send it to them, because we all need encouragement no matter how successful. God bless. Your friend, Alexei Katko. Back to the wide smiley faces. I think I eventually started making narrow ones. Letter 35, written on the 21st. It's funny, dear friend. It's funny how the word can't can go a long way. Either it will destroy your spirit or it can be the very reason for your greatest accomplishments. Let your imagination realize itself. Be bold, take that step of courage, and in doing so, you will encourage many to step up and step out of their comfort zones. Life is short and brief. Do something different. Become that person you always wanted to be. Seek out people who will encourage you to be greater. Find ways to serve others. As Jesus said in his teachings, to be great, you must become a servant. This letter might seem unusual, and that would be right of you to think so. However, it is random acts of kindness which will impact a lot of people in small ways, leading to great change and large movements. In search of my personal legend, I felt that I had to write 1,000 letters of encouragement and send them out to quote-unquote random people. As I draw this letter to an end, I would like to challenge you to write a letter to someone who has impacted your life. Tell them what they mean to you, and then send it off. Your friend, Alexei Katko. June 22nd, letter 36. Dear friend, sometimes I just wonder who the recipients of these letters are. Sometimes certain things in life are better kept from our knowledge. There are times we want to know why things are happening in our life. Realize one thing. That is the way of nature. Every beautiful thing had to go through a time of refinement. Or hold on a second. There are times we want to know why things are happening in our life. Realize one thing. That is the way of nature. Every beautiful thing had to go through a time of refinement. And so it is as well with humans. A few weeks ago, I had a thought to write 1,000 letters to random people and encourage them. My spelling is not that great, as you see. My grammar can improve. However, none of that deterred me from writing you and everyone else. As I end this letter, I would like to encourage you to be bold. Listen to that still and quiet voice that challenges you to be a better you. I'd also like to challenge you to sit down and write at least one letter to one person this week, a person who has impacted your life. Tell them how they impacted you and send it to them. We all need encouragement. Have courage and be bold. It's the first time my quote is here. Live, love, and hug everyone you love as long as you live. Your friend, Alexei Katko. And so this is what I mean by my quote. I think all my letters end like that from now on. So that was on letter 36. I came up with that quote. Letter 37, written June 22nd, 2013. Dear friend, as water is wet, fire is hot, and sharp knives cut, so people are prone to making mistakes. I must say that was one of my shortest intro to any letter I have written to date. In any case, I will not expound any more on the above statement because I believe you are wise enough to understand its implications for your life. Every action has its implication. Deciding to write 1,000 letters of encouragement will have its mark as well. You might never find out how you impacted people. However, the point remains, do what is right regardless of what you get in return. As I end this, I'd like to encourage you to sit down. Sit down this week and write a letter to someone who has impacted your life. Tell them, encourage them, and send it to them. Tell them, encourage them, and send it to them. Live love. Hug those you love as long as you live. Your friend, Alexei Katko. 38. Written June 22nd, 2013. Dear friend, time is an illusion. It is an illusion of what is to come. When we understand the principle of time, our lives take a new meaning. Every one of us has just enough time on earth to accomplish the mission we are here to finish. Not too much time or too little, just enough time. Time, I must say, is one of the most precious things we have. A few weeks ago, I decided to invest some of my time in writing 1,000 letters. To encourage some, provoke new thoughts, and mostly encourage. In light of time being so precious, I would like to challenge you to sit down this week and write a letter of encouragement to a person who has impacted you. Be bold, have courage, and be kind. Live love, and hug those you love as long as you live. Your friend, Alexei Katko. June 22nd, letter 39. Dear friend, here is an idea. Take someone you know well, family member, spouse, whoever. Go to a park, lay on the grass, and watch the clouds roll by spontaneously. And watch the clouds roll by spontaneously. This builds bonds, especially parents with younger children. Over the past few weeks, I've been writing short letters like these. Some are to challenge the readers, others to encourage. 1,000 letters I will write. Much time it will take, and in the end, a small deed done to a stranger enough times will leave its mark. Keep doing small kind deeds to those who surround you. In conclusion, I'd like to officially challenge you. Sit down this week and write at least one letter of encouragement to a person who impacted your life and send it off to them. Your friend, Alexei Katko. June 22nd, 2013. Letter 40. Dear friend, every one of us is born, and in the end we will close our eyes, say, thanks for the time, and exhale our last breath. Between the day you were born and the day you die, you have but a mission to accomplish. Seek for it, search, ask, and read, and don't stop until you find it. Then go and accomplish it. Many times we get this idea, a gut feeling, call it what you want. It calls you to do something, yet most of the time we choose not to act on it. A few weeks ago, I had one of those, and it was to write 1,000 letters to complete strangers, letters of encouragements. I hope you were encouraged to be great and bold in your pursuits. Next time you get that gut feeling, just go for it. To wrap this letter up, I would like to challenge you to sit down this week and write a letter to someone who has impacted your life and send it off to them. Live love and hug all who you love as long as you live. Your friend, Alexei Katko. Like always, wishing you the best courage and boldness. Have a nice night.